there. So in my short walk with businesses, I've come to realize that most of the times in Nigeria, we start businesses without actually counting the cost. So we go in to make money, cash out big. Sometimes we go in with very, very noble intentions to provide certain values, but it's always difficult for us to sit down and actually develop a framework for the business. How many of you have business plans? Okay, so that's usually very bulky, and most of the time you need an expert to prepare that for you. But in place of business plan, I'm bringing you something that is easier to do. It's just going to take you answering 9 questions. And once you can comfortably answer these questions, you'd have a better idea of your business. You can explain your business to anybody. You have something to constantly look at to tell you where am I going and how are we getting there. So come with me to answer 9 uncomfortable questions for business owners. All right, so uncomfortable question number 1, who are your customers? Now, there's a way we approach businesses thinking, I beg anybody, like where people just call me, they just buy everybody. I'll sell to everybody on my street. I have 10,000 people on my street. If 900 buy, that's 9 million naira. That's what we do. But take 2 minutes to pause and reflect. Who are your customers? Not everybody will pay for your product. Not everybody will need your product at the same time. So in answering this question, I want you to think of 2 things. 1, I want you to think, who are the people that really need my product? And then the second thing, who are the people that will pay for my product? Because those are 2 distinct classes. Let me explain. So the first one, who are the people that need my product? It could be kids, for example. Kids may need your product, but the question, who will pay for my product? It's not the kids, it's the parents. So everything you're doing, you're thinking of both the kid and then you're thinking of the parent who actually makes the buying decision. Another thing is this, who are the people that need my product? 1, who are the people that will pay for it? Now that speaks to financial capacity. So I might need your product. There are a lot of things I feel I need, but right now I cannot afford to get them, or there are other things competing for the money that I have. So I'm like, no, all right, so instead of getting this, I'll go for this instead. And these things do not necessarily have to be products that are competing with your products directly. It may be peace of mind against happiness. It may be security against food. So these are the questions. So who are the people who need my product? Who are the people who will pay for my product? Uncomfortable question number 2. What value am I giving to my customers? What value are you giving to your customers? In determining what your value is, I want you to answer these 2 questions. 1, what does my customer need? 2, why does my customer need this? Now, it's easy for us to think my customers want new chairs or my customer wants luxury hair. So let's take, for example, Henry Ford. He once said if he had asked people then, what do you want? Nobody would have said a car, because nobody at that point in time could conceive the idea of a car. But maybe what they would have said was, we want faster horses. Now, faster horses is like the product there. What product do you want? You want faster horses. But what do they actually need? What they need is speed. So they had need for speed. In defining your value proposition, you have to keep asking the question, why? Why? It's not about one product or one service. It's about why do they want this thing? Why would they want this product? And if you can keep drilling down into the whys, then you start defining the exact value that you want to give them. Let me give you a quick example. I approach my tailor and I say, I want a dress, with Duchess silk. She goes on to do a dress with Duchess silk. I don't like it, but it was what I asked for. Now, if she had drilled deep, why do you want a dress with Duchess silk? Because Duchess silk is really, really beautiful. It looks luxurious, but it's affordable. So it's like affordable luxury. Why do you want affordable luxury? Because I'm at that stage in my life where I want certain things that I want to look a certain way, I want to act a certain way, I want to come off as being settled to a certain point in life. Oh, why do you want that? If she had kept drilling, she would have realized that what I wanted was not a dress with Duchess Sip. What I wanted was a dress that communicated class, that communicated luxury, that communicated financial growth. If she had drilled in there, she would have gotten the exact dress that I wanted. That would have been her giving me value. So what does my customer need? Why does he need it? Why does he need this? Why does he need this? Then you answer the question. Uncomfortable question number 3. How do I connect my customers to the value I want to give to them? Now, it's important to answer this question because there are a lot of goods that never get to the hands of the customers, or that customers never ever hear about. I've had times when a good will be introduced to me or a service and I'll be like, where was this when I needed it? So answering that question, think of 2 things. 1, communication. 2, delivery channels. How do my customers hear about me? How do I reach out to them? And then you now go into delivery. How do they access my product? So how do they hear about me? These questions, you have to consider multiple things. 1, you have to think of the nature of business you are in, and then you have to think of the particular customer type. For example, if your product is targeted at older folks, let's say 70 to 90, and all your communication is on Instagram, you might not reach the right people, because some of them, a good number of them, will not go to social media to check for products. They need trust. They probably want to deal with people they've been dealing with for a long period of time, or if new people are coming in, they want to establish some form of trust. So you cannot put them on those channels. For the communication channels, you have to think about that. You have to think of how the product gets to them. Then you also have to think about the particular type of product you are offering. It affects your channel. So if, for example, you're offering ebooks, then it makes sense that you have web-based channels. If you're offering massages, for example, you could communicate via web-based channels. Yeah, but the actual delivery of the product involves a face-to-face interaction, and it involves indoor settings. So either the person is coming to your massage parlor, or the person is, or you are going to the person's place of abode. So think about this. How do I reach my customers? How do my customers hear about me? How do they access my products? And then how do I keep up with them post-sale? Uncomfortable question number 4. How do my customers want me relating to them? A good example is this. Swiss Bank, yeah, where you put a good bulk of your money. Wealthy families put a good bulk, I mean serious wealth right now, yeah. You probably don't want a distant type of relationship. You want people you can call on the go to say, move money from here to here, make this transfer. And then it happens with our normal banks here, high net worth individuals. Banks will attach to them personalized, people attend to their every needs personally, yeah. So what type of relationship does my customer want with me? It depends on what you're offering. It depends on the type of people you are offering it to. There are different relationship types. It could be automated, it could be transactional. You know, you just come to the store, you see them, you pay, you go. But you have to be clear about this. So your relationship with your customer, whatever type of relationship you choose to adopt, must be geared towards getting them, keeping them, and growing them. So now the question to ask yourself is this: what efforts am I putting in my relationship with my customers that makes them patronize me? What are the efforts I'm putting in my relationship with my customers that make them keep patronizing me? And then what efforts am I putting in my relationship with my customers that make them patronize me more, increase patronage. So if they were spending 10,000 naira with me before, now they are spending 50,000 naira. Their value to me is increasing. Now they are bringing in more people. They are talking about the business. So what am I doing? How am I relating with my customers in such a way that I get them, I keep them, and then I grow them? All right, let's answer uncomfortable question number 5. How do I get the most value from my customers? So it's revenue time, the catching time. Now, most people go into business thinking of money, like how am I going to make a lot of money? But naturally, if you come from a value perspective, how can I give people value? Then it's very, very all right. Like after you've determined what value can I give, then it's very, very okay to now say, how can I also get the most value from my customers? And I want us to think of this in 2 ways. First, usually we think of the end product as the major revenue stream. So I make juice. Once I sell my can of juice, then I make money. But I want us to think more along the line of revenue streams. And the best way to do this is to start asking yourself questions like, how much value can I actually extract from one revenue stream that has already been decided? How much value can I extract from one product line? And to do that, you have to look at the entire production line of that one product. I can say right now 3 ways that you can increase your revenue and add more revenue streams to your already existing revenue stream. Think of niched value. So you already have a class of people that you provide value to, then now drill deep. There are some other people within that class. It might just be a small niche who might want a specialized service. So think specialized service to a niche. So for example, I might be producing orange juice and everybody walks into my store to buy orange juice. But then me thinking specialized now is, oh, Sunday, I mean, people go to church, people come back, it's usually a bit hot when they get back. How about I have a group of people within this, my general group, maybe families now who I know will reach out to me every Sunday to have juice with their jollof rice or to have juice with their fried rice, whatever it is. So now I start pushing juice to go along with your Sunday meal. It does not mean I stop selling juice generally or people stop walking into my store, but I have created another revenue stream, which is Sunday afternoon juice. That's an example. So niched, specialized revenue stream. Another way you can do this is to think of accompanying value. So for example, we see it a lot. You go to a salon to make your hair. It only makes sense. I mean, it's easier for me if I go to a salon to make my hair. When I think about making my hair, I start to think about doing my nails too. So I could expand a bit and say, oh, in my salon we do hair and then we also do nails. So when you come in there, I mean, once you're done doing your hair, I can say, so would you like to do your nails also? It's not far-fetched. It's accompanying the value that you're already selling. So it's easy for you to expand into that category. Another very, very easy example will be makeup and gele. So you come to my store to do your makeup. I could also help you tie your gele, things like that. So just expand a bit. And then the third way you can expand your revenue stream is by looking at your production line, an activity that you will normally do. Now you put some value on that activity. So let's use a tailor for example. People come to her, I want to sew this particular dress. Tell me, what material do you think, I mean, you get the dress on Pinterest or something, what material do you think will work well with this dress? Some other people come with their materials. But you know that usually when you have to sew clothes for people, sometimes you have to go and get the material for them. At least that's what I do. I'll tell the tailor, please let me get Ankara or help me get Duchess silk or something. So now you could start pushing it to your customers that, yeah, this particular dress, yeah, this is the material that would be good for it. I could help you procure the material you will need to sew this dress. So it's already an activity that you do. Your customer will probably tell you, yes, help me get the material either way. So, but now you start to put it out there as a value that you offer, specially like, Another way to expand your revenue streams is to break down your products into different value points. Then when you've broken it down into different value points, it's easy for you to monetize on every level of value. So I see a lot of movies this day. I mean, Nigerian movies on YouTube, TMC for one. I really love the soundtrack, and then there are a lot of movies like that. The soundtrack stuck with me. But usually when we produce movies, we just push it out as a movie. What we're selling is, come to the cinemas to see this movie, or we're saying go watch it on any platform. But these days you see these you see these movie houses. They put the movie out there for you to watch. That's one way to like cash in on revenue. Then the different value points. So for example, they might take the music, which is already a component of one value, they extract that music as another value, and then they sell it on iTunes. That way they expand their revenue streams by zeroing in on the individual values that is within one core value. I said the first way I want you to think of revenue is in terms of how can I expand? How can I have more revenue streams? Now, the second thing I want you to answer in this section is this: how do my customers pay me? So how does the money come in? It could be through subscription. Maybe they have to subscribe. It could be through transactional cash being dropped down. Sometimes it could be, this particular product that I'm offering, or this particular service that I am offering, I get my revenue via leasing, I get it via rentals, or I get it via outright sale. Sometimes licensing, then it could be commission. So it depends on the industry you're in. It depends on the particular value you're offering and the product and service that you're pushing to people. It determines what type of way you get paid. So I said two things: think of how to get multiple streams of income, one, and then the second thing is for you to think of how the best way for your customers to pay you. Uncomfortable question number 6. What activities do I have to do to deliver value to my customers? So your activities have to be value proposition geared. In other words, they have to be aimed at delivering the value you have promised to your customer, and these are your key activities here. It's necessary for you to do these activities, for you to map out these activities, so that you don't end up majoring on minor things and then you neglect what actually brings value to your customers. So for example, if you have a shawarma delivering company, some of your key activities will definitely include procurement. How do you get your products, everything you need to make the shawarma? So it's necessary. It's something that you cannot joke with. You can't joke with procurement. It has to be tight. Things have to be delivered when you need them to be delivered. If not, your customer will not get the shawarma they have asked for. 2, another key activity will be taking orders. So you need to have people who are consistently there to take orders, to listen to customer complaints. Why? Because it's, like I said, shawarma delivery company. So most people are not coming to the store. So most people, the way they relate with you is through the phone or through your dedicated helplines. So you can't mess up your order taking part. Like, it's very key that that activity is properly done, so you don't mix up orders, or you do not turn away customers by not being there when they need to make their orders. Another very key activity can be delivery, because it's a shawarma delivery company, so you have to focus on making sure that everything around delivery is top notch. Uncomfortable question number 7. What are the resources I need to be able to deliver on the value I have proposed? So these resources could be physical resources. For example, if you are in the construction business, it could be your tractors. It could be intellectual resources. For example, what I do now, I need to make sure that at different points in time, I have knowledge reserved in an intellectual bank, because that is majorly what I sell. But apart from that being for businesses, that it's the intellectual part that they sell. It could, for startups, it could be your business name. For media businesses, it could be your content. So What are those resources? So we've talked about the physical resources. We've also talked about the intellectual resources. It could also be human resources. It could be financial resources. So what are the resources that you need if you're going to deliver the value you have promised? If you're going to deliver the value you intend to deliver, what are the things that must be in place? Uncomfortable question number 8. Who are the people that if you do not have them, your business cannot work? Now, most people don't like to hear that. We like feeling, self-sufficient. I can do bad all by myself. Well, you can't. You need partners at times because you have promised certain values that you do not have the capacity to deliver, but they are within your value proposition. Let me give you a very, very easy example. If a major thing in your value proposition is that people do not have to leave their homes, you place your order for this and then you get it. So people know that it's not just me getting a dress. It's not just me getting groceries. It's me getting groceries in the comfort of my home. I do not have to leave my home. You definitely need to partner with a delivery company. Now, I'm not saying you draw up a partnership agreement here. Nobody's talking about some legal form of partnership. But what I'm saying is, if these people are not available, it affects your overall value delivery. You will not be able to deliver your value. So who are these people that if you get them, then you can deliver on your value proposition? Your key partners. Comfortable question number 9. We're getting to the end of this. What is it going to cost you to run this business model? So it's necessary to ask this question because you can see from now, draw up your cost, put it up against your revenue. So for example, you say it's going to cost me 50,000 naira to produce and then sell 50 tubs of ice cream. Yeah. And then you now look at it against your revenue. People will pay me X amount of money for each tub of ice cream. So you are looking at your revenue and you can only price that ice cream at 1,000 naira per tub. So it's costing you 50,000 naira to produce 50. And from 50, all you will get is 50,000 naira if you are selling it at 1,000 naira per tub. It's already a problem in your model. As you're delivering value to your customers, you have to be profitable. So usually I've seen businesses that you are not even aware that you're losing money sometimes, because most of the time we don't separate ourselves from our businesses. So we use our own personal money to keep funding the business. You don't know you're losing money. You see people do giveaway on products. You've not even made money that much. You're doing giveaway. And at times that giveaway might be a necessary cost for you. So, what should you do? Should you just pack up and leave? So just know from now, does this business look like it's going to be profitable? How much do I need to put into this business to make it work? You need to know it. You need to compare it against your projected revenue. So you know if you're even going in this business or not. And if you're going in it, you know from the start that, oh, okay, so that means I need to optimize here. I need to do this better. I need to reduce cost here. I need to, reduce cost of production, increase this, instead of me putting out marketing, setting out money for marketing, maybe I relate, now we're coming to customer relationship. I relate with my customers this particular way so that they begin to refer. So if they are referring, that's like marketing cost has been sort of like shelved. But you can only ask these questions when you can actually see that, oh, cost versus revenue, this thing is not tallying. So what would it cost you? And costs are usually broadly divided into fixed costs and variable costs. Fixed costs are those costs that are going to remain irrespective of your output. So there are some costs that are fixed. You know them already. That, so this thing, I know at least for a period of time, I know that for a 1 year period, this is what this costs. And then there are variable costs that, it changes per the activity level. Whatever cost you do not need, cut it out. One. Number two, if there is another way that particular need that is making you spend that money can be met, think about it. For example, when I first started my business, I was thinking of, an office space because there's a way I love to work and all of that. But I mean, that's all in the past. Sometimes you think of office spaces and I may not be able to, I may not want to spend that much on an office space right now if I wouldn't be in the office every time. If I'll probably use that office space once or twice in a day, then for me, not for everybody. I just settled that if I'll do that, then I could jolly well walk out of a restaurant or one of all those co-sharing spaces. But I wouldn't come to these conclusions if I do not take a good look at my cost structure. So take a good look at it, the variable cost, the fixed cost. Think of how to make the fixed cost more productive. So if I have this huge space and I'm using only this much, I have this 3-bedroom office space, but really all my people, all of us, we can work from one. Well, I've already paid that amount. So can I rent out the other parts such that that space doesn't start entering minus? It's producing for me either way. So 9 uncomfortable questions every entrepreneur, every business owner, and every business manager needs to answer about their business. Once you can answer all these questions, you put it in what is generally called the business model canvas.